Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1.2 of Real Talk. This is a bit of a sub episode to the. I've actually recorded the second episode, so I didn't want to do an episode that kind of overtakes it. This is just a bit of a sub episode that I'm going to be doing these, just sharing stuff that I found along the way to do with the trading. So, you guys so far already know some of my views about trading and and what I believe a real trader should be, and my take on mentors and gurus and all stuff like that. So I'm trying to open people's mind a little bit, and get people to think outside the box of what is true and what isn't true. So in this episode, I want to talk about what's true and what isn't true. Like I just said. Now, if we look into history and let's look at governments, right? Let's look at big like authorities, bodies, governments, whatever you wanted to call them, right? Now, has there ever been a time in history where they haven't lied? Right. Now, I know that sounds like a bit of a strange question, and obviously they don't all lie. Well, actually, let's not get into that. But has there ever been a time in history where they haven't mashed up the people basically? I mean, look what's going on right now as of the 27th of September with the whole people going out chasing petrol and the whole thing where they're trying to push it against one group of people that voted in a referendum when the truth isn't actually that, and a lot of the population, don't have I don't know, I don't really want to, it's hard to explain. It's like people are too stupid, basically. I know that sounds bad, but this is real talk, you know what I mean? People are too stupid to go and do a little bit of research themselves. They'd rather listen and consume whatever the news tells them. Now, this generates a certain type of person, which is like your average person that listens to the news, that takes in everything, that doesn't think critical. It's exactly what the system wants you to be. And I'm not one of these guys that are like, oh, the man, the system, all that kind of stuff. I'm not, but at the end of the day, yeah, we live in a democracy, but what's written down on paper isn't what happens. And it's the same thing that like governments are always going to try and push people against each other when really they're all part of the same thing. Whether you're a Corbyn supporter or a Boris Johnson supporter, whether you're a Trump supporter or a Biden supporter, they're all the same thing. It's designed to give you the illusion of choice. And what is one of the most controlling, like, what's the most controlling emotion is fear, and what goes with fear is hope. These two are very controlling. Look what hope gives the average person who's trying to make it as a trader. It makes them go and look at indicators and buy courses and buy into these people that aren't real. And that's what it does. And you have to look at other aspects in life to be able to understand exactly how this game is run. Now, you think that, the government saying one thing, do they stick to their word? Your broker, they would sell, we don't do nothing, Robin Hood acting all innocent. Of course they sell your data to the banks. Of course they do. Of course they interlinked. This is the thing people need to not. I don't want to be the guy that says wake up because I so hate this fake woke stuff as well. It's crazy, but people need to wake up to the fact that not everything's cupcakes and fairies. Trading's a dirty game. So is politics. So is business. It's all very dirty. And you got to understand that we're in this for ourselves. It's a selfish game, and it naturally always will be. We can't do nothing about that. But that doesn't mean we can't work together. That doesn't mean we can't help each other. Just remember the reason why you're doing it. There's one reason: to do it for yourself. And this is the problem, that you have to look at other aspects in life to be able to understand it. Now, there's one thing being able to trade, right? There's another thing being able to trade properly and be right. You can make money and be wrong. I know a lot of people that trade wrong, but they make money because they found an edge. They've got an edge over the house. That's fine. But for me and the way that my brain works, I like to understand things fully, and that's might just be me. I've got a car. I know how my car works. You know, I know how the clutch works and the gears and the brakes, the brake pads. You know, heck, I can even change certain parts in the car myself. You know, I taught myself how to do it because I like to know how everything works. So also the thing is, like, if you didn't have mechanics, what would you do? You know, it's the same thing in like lockdown. People were like struggling and panicking, but I took some time out when I was younger, you know, to learn a few things and a few tricks, and it was sweet. One of the things during lockdown I did was obviously improve my trading, but also, you know, brew my own beer and stuff like that. And ended up brewing some hand sanitizer as well out of ethanol because I thought, if the hospitals or anything needs them, I thought I can make some. But yeah, they can't actually accept like random people's hand sanitizers. But it was a nice little thing to try. But my point is, like, you gotta look at other aspects, you know, to be able to understand where everything's drummed from. You know, a lot of people couldn't survive without certain things, so why would you rely on signals and somebody else's analysis to rely, for your trading? It doesn't make sense. And like the percentages are all messed up, you know. And you know my take on risk management. The next episode's going to focus on that a lot. You know, I disagree with risk management. I'm not saying you shouldn't manage your risk, just the way it's defined. I believe your risk should be defined and accepted, and that's it. You know, you don't have to sit there managing it. If you've got to sit there and manage your risk, I think your strategy is not that good. You know, I think your strategy is more probability. It seems like you're gambling, and I guess trading's gambling, full stop. But wouldn't you rather be able to read people if you was playing poker a bit better, to be able to read the markets? And you know, when the big guy's throwing his chips in, you want to be on the opposite side of whatever hand he's got and have a better hand, which is the same thing as following the banks. You know, and I love that analogy. Or would you rather be the guy listening to the drunk guy sitting at the back of the table saying, "Yo, man, buy this, man, buy this, buy it"? You know, you wouldn't, would you? Or would you like to listen to the guy that's cheating, looking at people's hands, but he can only see a couple of cards? You don't want to do that, do you? What would you take that? And half the time, the guy that's saying he's seen the cards hasn't seen the cards properly. He's just telling you he has. You know, this is the thing. So you have to look into other aspects of life and think that, okay, if politicians can lie, if companies can lie, if government can lie, if your friends can lie, but what makes trading anything different? If business is dirty, if politics is dirty, if the media, the news, it's all fake and wrong, it's designed to control us. So think about that. You think the banks are separate? You think the banks are different? You think the banks are just going to be all sweet and fine? Of course, and we're given wrong perceptions that the banks are going to target retail. That it's like more like retailer there and they take it. You know, you're gonna pick a 20 quid up if it's on the floor, right? You're not gonna leave it. That's exactly what it's like. So okay, so let's look into something else related to life and trading. So if trading is as random as it is, yeah, which I don't believe it is, and I know for a fact it isn't. So you get patterns in nature, and nature's kind of random, isn't it? But it's still patterned to the chaos. And it's the same thing of the market. The market will come across as random, but it's not. Same thing in nature. Things will grow. It seems very random, doesn't it? You go into the woods, there's stuff everywhere, but on a micro level, there's things happening that we don't see that all contribute to the chaos of nature. Same thing as like microorganisms and bacteria all have a part to play, even with our own bodies. And the market's the same. It will come across as this random, chaotic thing, and there's actually quite a harmony to it. Why? Because the banks are just moving their own money around. And I'll tell you something now, you will never find out the exact way the banks trade. It is the most tightly kept secret ever. You will never find it. I have worked with multiple people from banks and financial institutions. I've signed non-disclosure agreements to learn this thing because I'm on a mission to build an algorithm to help me trade. and also to learn a little bit more. And I've gone very deep into it, and trust me, you cannot find out how they do it. They're constantly adapting, and you can find out some of the methods, yep, but you'll never find out how they trade because they keep that stuff on lock, on tight lock. You can get close, you can learn some of the methods, but it'll be like, okay, you take it like this. They're going to trap retail traders. They're going to create a range and print price action inside of it that's going to trap retail traders. Give them about the same payout as a gambling machine does. So some of them work, some of them don't. The reason why they let ones work is to draw them in and keep them trading bull flags or bear flags or trend lines or whatever you're drawing. Trend lines don't exist. They only exist afterwards. It's a hindsight thing. Yes, it might bounce off it, but it bounce off of it because of a coincidence, not because the banks are looking at it or because it lines up with something else. Trust me, why would the banks do that? Why would they do that? You know? So if you look at that, right, and you look at the way that they're going to manipulate retail traders, yeah, and trap them, they're obviously going to give them some to keep them hooked. It's exactly what they do. They have to keep retail hooked, right? There's no two ways about it. They give them some, they take them some. So that's one of the ways that we know they will trap retail traders. Now, that's one way that one financial institution does. Okay, so how do they do it? No one's ever going to know. If you keep chasing the answer, you're going to be chasing your tail for a very long time. And I speak from experience. The best thing, if you want to learn to trade, like I say, you need to split your trading into three categories and decide what trade you want. And don't kid yourself just because somebody you see scalps good. Don't kid yourself because you see somebody taking big swings. A lot of traders will show you stuff in hindsight. You unless you see a P&L statement, don't believe it. Trust me, because there's enough people that are gonna mark up 1 to 90s and go, "Oh yeah, I got 1 to 90." No, 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 no. Show me the trade. You know, don't believe everything you see. There's a lot of fake news in the world. There's a lot of fake traders, a lot of fake gurus. They're in it to sell courses. Even if they've got people in the chat room that's doing well, these people have gone through multiple streams of education. It happens to be that one of them has had a good influence on them, and obviously they'll be in that group posting stuff, and that mentor or guru will take the credit for that. Obviously, the people get hyped to want to share the results. They share more in the different chat rooms. You got all the different mentors sharing their results, saying, "This is my student. This is how it works." And then people see it, goes, "Oh, that guy's doing well, I'm going to join." That's the whole point. Why on earth would they share the story if they didn't want people to join the course? This is the thing people need to understand. They're just after your money. I'm talking from experience when I say this, you know what I mean? I'm very passionate the way that I say this. This industry's fucked. It's very hard to find somebody that's going to want to mentor you because if they can trade, why would they want to teach you? You know? There are real mentors out there and you can spot them from a mile off because you can understand they don't care about the money. It's priced in a way that it's like, yeah, makes sense. They don't care, they don't advertise, and they won't have a lot of students. That's the difference. I mean, I know a couple of groups that you kind of pay for a community. The price is pretty cheap. You can learn the basics. It's very good. The guys have got a brilliant idea. Teach people the basics. Don't have to claim to get in a load. And then kind of, these traders will go on to do very well. And then, they'll go and learn like the more advanced stuff. And then they'll be like, sweet, it's a good business model. I know genuine mentors that do that. And they make a lot of money from these groups because people are coming in there learning the basics and smashing decent sized trades. But there's thousands of people in the group. And what they will do is keep releasing new concepts and stuff like that, but rebranding the same concepts kind of thing. And it's like it's just a washed out strategy. It's the same thing. All this kind of OB kind of strategies, they're all the same. People chase it. Very good business model, and you can actually learn from each one, but people don't realize you're learning the same thing you did from point one, point two, point three, point four. They're always gonna make it sound better. Oh, it's inducement theorem. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all the same shit. All the same shit. You know? People overcomplicate it. I'm learning this myself lately. My training's gone so simple now. I sit back, I chill. I'm even moving away from scalping. It's stressful. I can make the same amount of money in one trade a week that I can scalping that opens every single market open. So if I get 3 trades a week, I've made 3 times the money I normally make. we gotta think outside the box if we want to make this work. And I'm constantly learning and evolving myself. It's the reason why I share my journey. It's the reason why I've got this podcast is to share, And there's one difference between me and everybody else. I do not want your money. I want to make my own money. You get me? I don't want nobody's money. Same thing with the community we run. Heavily vetted to get in there. We only take serious people. We're not after anybody's money. We just want to work together. That's all we want to do. That's it. But yo, that's it for this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Please share it. I'm trying to make an impact, trying to open people's minds, and message me if these like everybody that messaged me, man. I really appreciate it. I just want to know that I'm making an impact. So I love when I get messages of people saying, you know what, um, after listening to the podcast and speaking to you, and give me a, if you want to know books or whatever I've read or whatever, just ask me. I'm happy to tell you guys if it helps, point you in the right direction. I'm not speaking from an area of expertise, but I'm speaking from an area of experience, and I think that speaks volume. And I'm around some very good traders, very good people, man. Honest guys that are actually traders. People that I know are making money. And I don't see any other place like this. So I'm like, whoa, I need to get on the podcast. I need to put this out there, for people to hear. There has to be a change in this industry. If there's not a change in this industry, it's fucked. Right? 90% of traders should at least be 70% of traders lose. It shouldn't be so high. It shouldn't be. That's worse than a gambling machine. That's worse than a casino's payout. Like that's dreadful. You know. Imagine if that 90% was somewhere else. Let's say like 90% of people that apply for a visa to come and work get rejected. Just like stuff like that in life. Imagine 90% of people that apply for a job here get rejected. When there's enough spaces. 90% of people that take this pharmaceutical die. 90% of people that eat this food have had side effects. It'd be outcry, you know? But like 70% of traders, that makes more sense. Because not everybody's that fucking stupid to not be able to learn this, you know? But it's not stupidity at the same time. I mean, stupid by people buying courses and buying into it. It is stupid. I've been stupid. Let's admit it. Let's cut the bullshit and cut the you can't call people stupid. No, come on. Let's admit to ourselves we've been stupid. I've been stupid. I've brought into it. I've believed the money. I got sucked into it. I got sucked in good and proper. Let's just stop and admit that, right? If you're sitting there and you've brought these courses and you know that you've done the wrong thing and you've brought into a guru, you've been stupid. Right? Don't sugarcoat it to yourself. Accept it. I tell you right now, I've been stupid a lot of times. Yeah? And I'm not afraid to say it. Stop sugarcoating things, stop fluffing things. Let's say things how there is. If you want to be a trader and you want to get in that market, right, which is a bunch of fucking knives and bullets coming at you, yeah, you need to get tough skin. You need to toughen up and be able to say, yeah, I've been fucking stupid. I've fucked up and I'm ready to change. I'm ready to go forward. I'm ready to learn this properly. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere with this. But yo, that's it from me. That's been the episode of Real Talk. Peace out. See you in the next one.